on. Yes, caught behind. A little bit of movement, and this is a marvellous start for England to get rid of both openers. Greenwich now following Haynes back into the pavilion with only 11 on the board. First wicket to both of them, and a delighted Bairstow accepting that little outside edge. So Greenwich goes for 9 out of 11 on the board, and just in the 4th over.
Ian Botham getting a little bounce, arm really high. Don't think this was the away swinger. I think if anything it was the in swinger which just held up off the seam. Got Greenwich just nibbling out there outside the off stump. Splendid bit of bowling, just tempted the batsman into the full stroke.
So a little hush around the ground now. They're waiting to see that great figure out of this Old Trafford pavilion of Viv Richards. The slow, leisurely, measured walk, and no doubt will get a marvellous reception, as well he deserves. The great batsman of the modern age, and no matter where this man had played cricket, I'm sure he would have made a tremendous impact. So look again then at the departure of Greenwich. Good accurate delivery here on both, and forcing the batsman to play just outside, and the slightest bit of movement. Not a great deal, but sufficient to find the outside edge, and a very comfortable catch for David Bairstow. So what a morning it's been already for David Shepherd, new umpire at the far end. In the space of 15 minutes, he's had to give 2 decisions. So a little bit of rivalry here, of course, between Botham and Richards. Not only with the same county, but extremely close friends.
And of course, getting in so early in this first Texaco Trophy match, Richards will like that. He'll have a little bit more time to settle. Sometimes he comes in late and has to start the stroke making too early. The crowd will like it, and he will like it. But he's got plenty of time to bat.
Well, there's only 1 slip already for Richards. Gave him the little tester outside off stump, but wisely having nothing to do with it. Well, it's a strange move already. The square leg is disappearing away to the deep square leg boundary now. Can't surely be going to feed him with a bouncer. Change in this England attack, Botham again. Yes, we worked out over the years a number of times that Viv gets off the mark through that leg side on-site field is immensely strong in that area. Has always felt that that's the length and line to bowl to Viv Richards, particularly when he first comes in. Fairly stiffish breeze for Botham to come in against down there. He's quickly off the mark, looking for the single, and makes it quite comfortably in the end. The opposite end, Stretford end here at Old Trafford, Willis with the wind, and Richards to face. Oh, it's a great shot. Short, hammered away through mid-wicket. Didn't quite time it as much as he would have liked, but it's going to bring him 2 very easy runs. But quickly into position. In fact, I think he possibly got into position a little too quickly there. And that's only just over the head of mid-on. Very airy-fairy shot there from Viv Richards, not bothering to run. He'll have to change his mind because it's not going to reach the boundary. And in the end, they've only got a single from it. I don't know whether he lost grip of the bat there, Ted, but a very, very curious shot even for Viv Richards.
Well, he's played very free at this off the back foot, and it's gone comfortably in the air and just avoided Fowler at mid-on there. That could have been really a real body blow to West Indies if that had gone to hand.
So this is Botham's fourth over of the morning. That's a typical Richards effort. No need to run this time. A little flick of the right hand and it races through mid-wicket for four. And a smile from Botham. He knows full well he should never bowl to Richards there.
Well, there is nobody else in the world who can hit this shot as hard as Richards does. Now that ball, I reckon, was probably hitting middle. His front foot is right outside off stump, and well, they've even taken my advice and put somebody back there. Now I think that is the right thing to do with Richards. If you start bowling outside his off stump, he hits it just as hard on the other side. Now Ian Botham can afford to bowl straight, and he's got two fielders out on the legs.
You can't afford to bowl there. That's halfway down. Crashed through mid-wicket this time off the back foot. Lovely pull shot there from Viv Richards. And the crowd starting to rise to him already.
Well, that wasn't very smart, really. He's got a man back there, but not for that very short, simple.
And he's trying one on the offside this time. He's picked his spot nicely for two more. So he's taken 10 off the last three balls from Botham.
But that is the mark of the great player. He set those runs up with that superb first stroke. Absolutely astonishing shot. Then, of course, he's rattled Ian Botham into bowling a couple of loose ones. Put that down for batsmen as they race to 29 and going well.
Bobble is coming in from a long leg. They'll come back for the second. Rather think it was off the pad. Yes, two-leg bye signal by umpire Shepherd. Oh, that's four more. It was in the air, but the placement was right. Clean short X from mid-off, never any danger of a catch. And the score suddenly rattles along when Richards arrives.
Was in the air again, not very far away from David Gower coming in at extra. But England having got off to a good start, these two possible chances against Richards just going begging.
That won't matter to him. Short, rocked away under the back foot and picks up two on the offside, just to vary it slightly. Richards already on to 20. There's 38 on the board, and for England to win this one feels they've got to get rid of him fairly smartly. good, accurate delivery. Even contained Richards. England are the bowlers in this contest. Neil Foster, of course, Rick Pringle and Jeff Miller. And again, that was whipped round to square leg off. Something right leg middle stump. Slight error there by Alan Lamb around. It allows him to come back from the second, and that won't please both of them. Not sure he'd much sooner bowl at Richardson than Richards. It's a better ball.
Safely away for 4. No slip there. It's one of the risks you take if you set a field of this kind, but so far it's worked with Richards. He's needed the edge of the bat to get away from Gower and from Foster. And there's that favoured shot, and it split the two men behind square. Fatal to bowler Richards on the leg side. That is a remarkable stroke. The strange thing about it is that almost invariably he gets it in the middle of the bat.
That scorecard typifies what West Indies owe to Richards this morning. Nobody else yet into double figures. He's made 41 out of the 70 on the board. Richards now to face off-spinner Miller. Miller certainly not without hope on this pitch. But his line badly astray there.
It's quite amazing, really, because Lancashire have done quite a good job here. They've got the sight screens, 3 sight screens at both ends, and they brought them right down to the front there. And there shouldn't be really an interruption if people are sensible.
This is Foster again. Richards to face. Again, turned with such consummate ease. He'll get in pretty well stretched now for Richards. 5 men out on the boundary. Just as well, I'd certainly say 3 runs, the man back there. So West Indies, despite losing 4 wickets, are pushing along at a little over 3.5 and over. Thanks principally, of course, to 44 of them from the bat of VIV Richards. He'll be facing again. It's the task of bowling to Richards. A little bit of spin certainly in this wicket, but Miller adopting the one-day tactics of the off-spinner these days. Despite some help from the pitch, he's not attacking in any way, bowling, or trying to bowl defensively around a leg middle stump with only 3 on the off. and quite considerable amount of turn in that. Turned quite a long way. And well wide of Best. It would move quite a good deal to his left.
You see, this gives it a slightly bit more air, and you can see that ball went 2 feet or more, and normally for an off-spinner you get in two minds whether to attack or defend in these sort of games. But I was saying, there's certainly no doubt in my mind there's enough spinning this wicket for him to be certainly attacking a little bit. You see, went a long way down the leg side there. There's plenty of spin there for anybody who gives it just a little bit of air and allows it to drop on the wicket.
Yes, they don't get too many opportunities like this in one-day cricket. The spinner, one feels, I must say I agree with Ray, that got to try and make the most of it. And of course, bowling leg middle there, he is bowling to Viv Richards' strength. Two most experienced of the West Indies batsmen together. Hubert Lloyd deciding to carry on. He's had a really marvellous second lease of life over the last couple of seasons. Many people thought he might pack it in, but he's going from strength to strength. That's a short, long hop, in fact, from Neil Foster. Richards, all the time in the world to pick up 2 more. Eased away once more through mid-wicket. Just leans on it. His timing is absolutely faultless. Takes him on to 49.
Well, the Middlesex captain's certainly getting a bit of exercise down there this morning. He'll be used to fielding at slip or close in for Middlesex, and we've got him out just behind square there, and he's fielding 3 or 4 balls and over at the moment, which does show that the bowler's not bowling now in just the right place for deep square to doing all that fielding.
Richards again. That's it. And Gatting giving chase. He'll cut it off all right. There'll be 2 more to Richards. 2 more, which takes him through to his half century. 51 on the board in the 22nd over, with the West Indies on 83 for 4. And in view of the match with 4 wickets down, he's got them remarkably quickly. 59 balls and 5 boundaries included. So he's rolled out yet another 50 in limited over cricket. His 19th in all. That doesn't include 600s he's made. That's in the air, and he just got a hand to it there, David Gower. Just the end of his fingertips, one imagines, at short extra. A bit of good fortune there for Viv Richards. A yard nearer Gower, and I think he most certainly would have gone.
Yeah, well, this was a far better delivery, and this is the area that he ought to be bowling at to Richards. Now, unfortunately, because he's bowled a few bad deliveries, David slipped into the problem that he's moving a deep mid-wicket out. So you've got 3 men now from mid-wicket to fine leg, which really is setting the field for bad bowling a little bit.
Scores on 87 now. 87 for 4. Move on to 88, certainly. So Fowler comes in. Richards on 56, 89 the score to face Miller. That's exactly where the off-spinner can't afford to bowl. Short outside the off-stump, put away with no bother at all. Taking Richards on to 60. Must have a great chance of Man of the Match award here. I think Viv Richards, he might get a few overs in on this pitch as well.
Yeah, very fine shot this. Again, quite wide, a good foot outside the off-stump. And really, it has looked a different game when Viv's been batting to any other batsman. He's looked in tremendous form all morning. Again, we haven't move a fielder back, which is not a bad thing because you get the new batsman at the batting end if possible.
It's a nice full toss. He's crashed that through mid-wicket for 4 this time. Well, at the moment it really is Richards v England.
And certainly Viv has a tremendous attitude to this game, where anybody else will be trying to dig in and save this, get the graft, but he just counterattacks all the time, and it's tremendous to watch.
That's another short one. So not a very good piece of bowling this at the moment by Miller to Richards. We've had 2 short ones and a full toss. Richards then on 65. That didn't bounce very high, could have dragged it on. And that's a close call, and he's run out. Would you believe it? Marvellous piece of work there. And welcome Marshall goes. It really has been a disastrous morning for West Indies. Marshall coming a long way down. Seemed that he would get back, but the throw again was absolutely spot on, and he had to go. 102 for 7.
Well, a marvellous piece of cricket by David Bairstow this. I don't think there's another wicketkeeper in the English counties would have got this. Marshall set off, had a little bit of a slip there. Had to go back. A beautiful pick-up and throw by David Bairstow. Oh yes, perfect. Left him stranded there, and that's a tremendous boost for England now. They really are amongst them now, and Marshall will be very annoyed by himself there. But perfect piece of cricket by David Bairstow there.
Just got a bottom edge onto that. Marshall set off. Richards wasn't convinced, told him to go back. He kept coming for an extra couple of yards. Disobeyed the great Richards, and in the end paid for it. Well, we're just holding on Garner to come. It's really all up to Richards. 65 out of 102. He faces Pringle. Just nudges that away fine. That's going to beat Bob Willis. No hope of cutting it off. He's dealt in boundaries here this morning as Viv Richards. His placement, as ever, has been absolutely top class. Crashed away through mid-wicket. Yet another 4. And it's a one-man band out there. Richards taking on England single-handed. Right incredible scoreboard up there now.
Well, this is his trademark, and he just picks his spot there. Nobody could move. Fancy making 73 out of 110 on such a big occasion as this. It's a wonderful performance by Viv Richards. He's the only man standing between England and a pretty simple victory, but what a man to have against you. See, they're still not far off that 4 and over, 3.5 anyway, and that's a good rate for these games.
One of the other things must be taken into account is the mental discipline of the West Indies side. Their bowlers. There's Andy Roberts, who's not on this tour, who once said it doesn't matter for how many they bowl out our batsmen, we will still bowl them out for fewer. Very quiet but tough character, Andy Roberts, and that mental discipline is still with the West Indians.
Perfectly placed this by Viv Richards, moving into perfect position. And the England fielding still of a high standard. Good stop there by David Gower, just a little fumble, but previously a lovely bit of fielding by Alan Lamb on the boundary. First class throwing and catching, ground fielding. And it's been fault England in the field today.
Beautiful stroke. Very pleasant day here at Old Trafford. A few clouds around now. It was a cloudless sky earlier. But conditions have been very good. West Indies won the toss, decided to bat. Being held together by Vivian Richards, 83 not out. Great support now from LD and Baptiste, and here's Pringle. She's going to look for two here, Viv Richards. Andy Lloyd at deep fine leg. 150 up, and now this is an entirely different story. It was 114 for 7 at lunch. Now it's 150 for 7, almost without effort. Richards and Baptiste have added 36 in even time since the luncheon interval. Take the single off the last ball. Richards has the strike.
But there are still 19 overs to go, and while Richards is there, that could mean plenty of runs. Anyway, here we go. Foster to Richards.
Just the single.
Back go the men on the leg side boundary. Long leg, deep square, mid wicket. And now Bob Willis and Graham Fowler going back almost straight behind the bowler. Full toss. Get it away. He's going to be content for one by the look of it. No, they're coming back for the second. Taking advantage there of Bob Willis, who's these days, of course, not one of the liveliest movers in the outfield. Richards then on 98. And they're looking for the 100. Are they going to make it? No. Fowler, a speedier mover than Willis. There's only one in it. So Richards is there on 99, but happily for West Indies, he's got the strike.
Well, I don't think Richards will have to suffer any sort of nervous 90s here, because England really are quite happy to give him one to bowl at Michael Holding, so it will seem anyway rather like a formality. And if he does get the 100, it'll be as good a one in one-day cricket as I've seen. Absolutely carried this West Indian team from the moment he walked in. Without him, they'd be already out and gone. So here he comes, Ian Botham to Viv Richards.
No problem, a single anywhere he wants it, and that he decided was once again on the leg side. He's made it into 4, which takes him on to 103. And what a great innings this has been. 103 out of 173. With wickets tumbling all around him. He's only received 112 balls, 12 fours in it, and the 7th time he's made 100 in limited over cricket. So his 3rd versus England, and in fact only the 4th made here at Old Trafford in these one-day internationals. I'm looking for a few more, but just be one at this time as the field is pushed well back for him now. Neil Foster now from the Stretford end. Decided to refuse the opportunity of taking just one. Richards looking to take hold of the strike now. Foster to Richards. Give himself room. Beautiful shot. Really was. Classic off drive there. To a ball pitched, I suppose, round about leg stump.
Well, this is magnificent. It's well outside leg stump. He's stood away, and he's still swung the bat in classic style, absolutely controlled, even though there was a fielder within 15 yards, couldn't get it.
Just nudged it away down to long leg. Happy this time with a single. Batsmen to have made 100 at Old Trafford in one-day internationals. Dennis Amiss made 103 against Australia. Clive Bradley 117 against New Zealand. And Glenn Turner made 114 for New Zealand against India, one of the World Cup matches. So Richards adds his name to those 3. Both of them once again to bowl to him. That's hoisted away. Beautiful shot again. Right. Amazing the strength of this man on the leg side. Just seemed to flick that over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. And it's a very long carry today down to the pavilion steps.
Well, this is uncanny. He's barely picked his bat up. It's only got about pocket high, the top of his bat. Mind you, it is a big, heavy bat, that. Effortless.
And turns down the single. Yes, it must be marvellous to have the ability of this man. Just really taking this bowling by the scruff of its neck, and everybody has been falling at the other end. Decided he'd quite like one this time. And that shot again, absolutely magnificent. Straight 6 this time, and again to a ball pitching outside the leg stump. A couple of steps away and just put it exactly where he wanted it. Straight for 6.
Well, you wonder how long this can go on. It wasn't even a half volley. It was, if anything, it was short of a length. We're really seeing something here, I can tell you.
A short one, attempted bouncer, and that's put away in great style again for 4 more. And one feels a shade sorry for the bowlers, I must say. It's almost impossible to bowl to this man when he's in this frame of mind. Well, sees a 200 up. On 26 he's gone on to now. I'm looking for some more, but not this time. This down in the single. Go through a single on that misfield by Mike Getting. Both of them to try again. Once again, turns down the single. That's 4. It wasn't all that far off Pringle on the boundary there, but he had no chance at all of stopping it. It through again with tremendous power.
Well, the only comfort for England while this battering is taking place is that the quicker bowlers are really getting nothing out of this pitch. That's not to say that the West Indian quicker bowlers won't get something out of this pitch, but maybe a little bit of comfort for the England batsmen to see the balls coming through pretty even and pretty steady pace.
Go through a single on that misfield by Mike Getting. So both of them comes off with 1 over left him to bowl and is replaced by Derek Pringle. That's the great joy of Viv Richards, who's immediately put him into the crowd for 6. And again, with apparently no effort whatsoever. Overpitched. Pick of the bat, little flick of the wrists, and away she goes. Takes him on to 143. That's the highest score ever made against England in a limited over international. In fact, beating his own total. He was undefeated with 138. I'm sure you'll remember in the Prudential Cup final of 79. He's gone nicely past that and has got power to add over these next 7 overs. The no ball. This innings of Richards could present a fairly comfortable task for Noddy Puller, Lancashire opening batsman, that fine left-hander, played for England many times, who's the adjudicator here today. Oh, that's a real cracker of a shot. Soared away into the far distance, right smack into the middle of the crowd. So 150 goes on the board for Viv Richards, holding down the wicket to shake him by the hand. Tremendous performance, 4 sixes, 15 fours, and he scored up more than a run a ball. Johnny had 147 balls. And there aren't too many 150s scored in a 55-over match. Wonderful performance. And that's in the air, but just dropping short of mid-wicket. Acrobatic piece of work in the outfield. And Richard stays at the receiving end. Viv Richards' best score. Limited over international. 154 he goes on to. Only 3 ahead of him since this former game has been played. David Garr made 158. Glenn Turner 171. And one remembers very vividly that 175 not out of Kapil Dev last year during the Prudential World Cup. So big problems for David Garr, trying to sort out a field to save runs here. It's almost an impossible task when the man is in this sort of mood. Willis to Richards. Well, wasn't missing by very much, that. Dunbar's going to contain that one. 4 more. Familiar side step. Deep square legs coming in, ostensibly to save the single. They'd like to, something like a full over at Holden at the other end. No chance so far. And that means that's gone a magnificent 6, right over the top. Well, the purpose has been achieved to some extent, because that's the end of Bob Willis's over. So they have got a full over at Holden. That also means that Richards has added another 6 to his vast collection.
Well, at least he deigned to really give it a full swing at the bat this time, but almost the easiest hit of the whole game. He's just popped it where he wanted.
I honestly doubt, Ted, whether at this level we've ever seen an exhibition of dominance such as this. 164 out of 240 for 9, and only one other man into double figures. There's 2 balls left for Richards now. Well, it's been one of the few streaky shots we've seen from him. Thick outside edge, but vacant areas down at third man there. He almost scorns a shot like that. Looking for a single there, but couldn't make it. There we go, it's a step down, but once again he doesn't want the one. Holden coming up to give him a little bit of advice, no doubt. Probably just working out what's on television tonight. Lent into that one. Umpire Sheffield waiting to see if it's 4 or 6. In fact, it bounced a couple of yards in front of the ropes.
Well, I don't know what Pringle had in mind here, but wound up with a high full toss outside leg stump. And Richards is really going to pick it off from anywhere now.
I think he might want 2 this time for a change. And he gets it to keep the strike. He did pretty well to stop that. It was racing away. So 176 for Viv Richards, and that makes him the highest scorer in one of these limited over internationals. 175 not out by Kapil Dev last year.
Richards came in second wicket down in the 4th over today. I said that it's unusual for him to have so long to bat. The crowd would like it and he would like it, and he certainly relished every minute of it.
But the impression he'd rather like to face the last over too. 176 out of 260. So a stand of 94 for the last wicket so far.
Yes, if I had a criticism of England in the field, it wouldn't be for not getting Richards out, it would be for not getting the last 3 supporting players out. West Indies 114 for 7 at lunch, and a little period before lunch when they could have attacked perhaps and picked up another. They settled for defensive tactics, and well, they haven't defended very well.
interesting, actually, if he'd played that properly. It would certainly have been signalled as a wide. There's a full toss, and there's 4 more. Another boundary flowing from the bat of this great player. Only want 2 more to have added 100 for the last wicket. I'm pretty sure that there's never been a century stamp for the last wicket in one of these games before. Two balls left, there's 2 runs to be made, or for both of them to get a little compensation. That's going to be the 2, all right. Is it going to be 4? Yeah, it's just beaten Fowler, racing round there. So there we are, 100 stand for the last wicket. 166 when they came together. It's moved on now to 268 with a ball left. And this massive contribution of Viv Richards now stands on 185. And as you might expect, it ended with a 4. Richards' bat held high. One of the great innings of one-day cricket. 189 not out. And he alone is responsible for putting West Indies in such a very strong position. Magnificent reception for the Antiguan. And how thoroughly well he's deserved it. 272 for 9 after their 55 overs. Richards on his way into the pavilion, undefeated with 189. The target for England now is one of 273. They've got to score at the best by 5 runs and over against quite a formidable pace attack. Lunchtime, it looked as though they were on a good thing, but now there must be extreme doubts about England's ability to make those runs. Well, feast your eyes on that scorecard. Don't think I've ever seen anything like it before. 26, Baptiste. Holding not out 12. Richards, 189. And with all the strength in that West Indies batting, nobody else into double figures. Greenidge, Haynes, Richardson, all missing out. Gomes, Lloyd, Dujon, Marshall. England very much on top.
55 overs. There is the West Indies score, dominated by this quite masterful and marvellous innings from Viv Richards of 189. Our first commentator during the England innings, Richie Benner. With Baptiste, he put on 59 for the 8th wicket, and with Michael Holding 106 for the 10th, and Holding contributed just a dozen runs. Let's look at the facts then of this tremendous innings, the best within the context of a game I think I've ever seen in a one-day match. Richards, the highest score in any one-day international. He hit 5 sixes and 21 fours. Absolutely magnificent. The England bowling, Bob Willis bowled well. He got a bit of stick towards the end, but good figures. Jeff Miller, the most productive on this turning pitch, 3 for 32, but everyone else getting some stick.